Welcome back to another Innovation Long-Term Review. Today we're going to check back in with our good old friend, the Fiido. To kick off this long-term review, I want to start with some of the things that I liked about the Fiido D11. And the first thing that I liked is going to be the size, weight, and portability of this particular e-bike. The D11 is one of the lighter e-bikes that we've tested, coming in at 33.4 pounds. And once you fold it up and break it down, it comes in at about 33 inches by 19 inches by 29.5 inches, which is a footprint you could put almost anywhere. The next thing that I liked about the Fiido was the ride quality that you get. Now, with us, if you've seen some of the stuff on this channel, we are used to riding around on fat tires, full suspension. So when we go to something that has thin tires and no suspension, you would kind of expect that to be one of the things that sticks out the most, but I found the ride to be fairly comfortable. The way that the bike was designed was fairly nice. It's got a nice fit and feel to it. Everything flows nice and smooth. My only complaint here with the ride and the geometry in general is we do have a lot of latitude, or altitude rather, with the seat here. So somebody who was a bit taller could fit on this bike, but with our handlebars not having any sort of scoping abilities here, you kind of are limited to keeping the seat in a certain position. Otherwise, the ride would just get a little bit too uncomfortable. But if you're right around that 5'10" and maybe 5'10" to 5'6", that's probably going to be the sweet spot for this bike, as it is a little bit smaller, and if you don't upgrade to a telescoping option, then the handlebars are kind of limited with how high you can get them. The other thing that I really liked about this bike was having the battery here in the seat tube. Now, we've tested some bikes that have that sort of setup before. Most of them come in sort of like a round, very cylindrical shape. This one's got a bit of a unique style to it. Kind of comes to a point here, and it's a little bit fatter on the back. There's a couple things I really like about this. Number one, you've got the connection port right here instead of down on the bottom, which we've seen on some e-bikes. It's also got a built-in light here. This is where you turn the battery on and off. Right there, kaboom, if you can see that. And we've also got the charging port right here in the front. And it only weighs 7.46 pounds, so it's very easy to pull out, especially in this form factor, and store it away or charge it inside. And now let's lay on the ground and talk about some of the things that I didn't like. And the first thing is going to be these pedals. Now, in all fairness, I think these pedals are fine. They are a little bit different than some of the pedals, I would say most of the pedals that we get, in the fact that there's not a whole lot of flat surface area. They just have these kind of spikes or these raised areas here. Now, they do come with reflectors, which is nice. I'm not going to knock them for that, but the pedal in general I think could be a little bit better, even if we wanted to go with something that had a little bit more of a platform and also had the folding capabilities. These ones, I'm not sure what the brand on them is, but they don't fold, and we've got a bike that is so portable, so foldable. Having some folding pedals on here I think would be an excellent option. And as we continue laying on the ground, the other part of this bike I was not fond of are the fenders. Now, the fenders in general are not bad. The ones that come with it I think are fine, but for me it was very difficult, actually impossible in my case, to install the rear fender without having to do a lot of extra work. And though I'm sure it is possible to do it, I did not have the time to take the whole back wheel off to get everything installed. Like I said, I think the fenders are fine, but if we are going to take those fenders, I think that is something that needs to be installed before we get the bike. The front one I think was easy enough to do, but the rear one should probably be installed at the factory. And I don't know if that's something that Fiido has fixed in different versions or newer batches of this particular bike, but if not, that would be my recommendation. And the final thing that I don't like about the Fiido D11 is going to be the clearance. Now, for some people, it's not going to be a big problem. If you are taking this thing on concrete, there's no cracks, there's no bumps, there's no sidewalks, anything kind of crazy that you might run into in an urban environment, then you'll be fine. But for me, I do like to take most of my bikes off-road. We got some riding trails around here. It's a good place to cut around corners if you are going on a commute or something like that. And on the Fiido, now I never hit anything with it, right? So I'll preface it by saying that, but I was always kind of worried about maybe hitting something with the low clearance that I have here. And so the clearance at the bottom of the derailleur is about 3¼ inches. Now, that may be something we can adjust. However, when it came out of the box, and this thing is tuned pretty well. This is kind of where it sits. And the pedals are a little bit higher, about that 4.5-inch mark or so on the bottom of the pedals, which, again, probably not a huge deal for most people. I never hit the ground when I was riding it, but just something to keep, you know, in the top of your mind that some of these parts are pretty low to the ground. Well, we started this review standing up, and about the halfway mark, we just laid on the ground, so it seems fitting for us to end the review on the ground. Again, thank you so much for watching this review. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Ryan, who has joined the team doing some reviews for us, he is going to be taking over a lot of the Instagram and social media stuff. So please feel free to reach out to him if you guys have any questions. If you're a brand and you want to get something reviewed, please let us know. We have got an email, show@innovationnation.com. We've also got a website. Now, a lot of information coming at you guys, but I just wanted to get it all out there. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and we'll catch you on the next one.